There's an enormous wall in front of me, blocking my way. I can only wonder what's on the other side. What does it look like, the view from the summit? I'll never be able to see it on my own, but I have others on my side. Welcome to a new episode of We Care a Normal Amount About Things. I'm your host, GJ, and this is the first part of my mini-series about the Japanese anime Haikyuu. This is a show that has been very near and dear to me. It's one of my, would a depressed person watch this show? It's such a comfort show to me whenever I'm sad or depressed. And I can't really just fully describe why, but from what I've seen on the internet, it seems like it's pretty big to other people as well. So I'm gonna try to explain it today. But first, our sponsors, who include Little Cat's Living Doll Hospitals, Transmissions from Smeagol, Mythbree's Emporium of Lost Socks, Chicken Boo's Costume Emporium, Krakenstein's Craptorium, You Need Crap, We Got Crap, Mammoth Island, When You're Here, Your Family, or else, Dunfall Industries, and viewers like you. Thank you. I'm not entirely sure when exactly I started watching Haikyuu. It was during the blurry time of lockdown in the pandemic, but I know definitely it was before winter of 2021. Before I get all blubbery and talk about the show and the reasons why I love it, because I have quite a lot to talk about, this episode is going to be spoiler light. I'm just going to basically break down like the first three episodes. I'm gonna try to keep it spoiler free, but honestly, this is one of those shows where even if you know how it ends, it still gets you very emotional. I don't feel like it ruins anything. And I say that as one of those people who don't watch movie trailers because I feel like it's gonna spoil too much. But let's talk about the real life origins of Haikyuu. Haikyuu was written and illustrated by Furidate Haruichi. It ran in Shonen Jump from February 2012 to up to July 2020 and has roughly over 400 episodes. It's been adapted into an anime with 4 seasons, a couple of OVAs, and a series of plays, actually. It's one of the best selling mangas of all time and is considered one of the best mangas of all time, which is wild considering mangas such as like Full Metal Alchemist and Dragon Ball and like the Mount Rushmore of mangas. The fact that Haikyuu stands comfortably with them despite only being 12 years old is astonishing to me. It really speaks to how many people hold this anime so near and dear to them. Also, heads up, I'm not sure if you caught that from how I pronounced the creator's name. I am going to get names wrong. And you know what? PSA time, everybody. Get you a carpet square and a snack, because we're about to talk about this right quick. Names are hard, okay? Foreign names are hard. When we are dealing with those, we have two options, okay? You can be that person who says it correctly with the full tones and intonations and accents and all that, but you just kind of like stop mid-sentence and mid-accent just to switch accents and words, and so you just kind of sound like a pompous jerk. Like the whole joke about like, oh, it's not croissant, it's croissant. You can sound like that jerk, or you can sound like a backwards hick for saying it the way that it is pronounced in your language. Because it's pronounced differently. I believe like a great example of that is the name Xochitl. That's not how it's pronounced in the original indigenous language, but Xochitl is a rough estimate of it. Either way it goes, this is a nuanced thing. I'm gonna mess up the names, and honestly, I'm choosing the hick route. I watched the dub. I love the dub. Highly recommended, actually. And that's how I'm going to say it. Because there is no wrong way to say it. This is a nuanced topic. Okay? Cool? Cool. Anyway, to all of my newcomers who have never seen Haikyuu or have never heard of Haikyuu, this is the basic premise. One day in middle school, our hero, Shoyo Hinata, is running around his neighborhood and he happens to see part of the national high school volleyball tournament in Tokyo. He's never really seen volleyball. Wouldn't surprise me if he's never given volleyball a second look before, but he sees this amazing play from a player nicknamed the Tiny Giant from a school called Kurosano. He sees this player who's maybe like 5'5" just make this incredible spike against over 6 foot tall players. Hinata is hooked. That is his struck by lightning moment, and he is determined to play volleyball. So the next day he goes to school and goes up to the school counselor to join his middle school team, and they reveal that they actually don't even have a boys volleyball team. There's a girls team. So he is the only player on the boys volleyball team. For 2 years, he is hustling pretty much any person that he comes across to practice volleyball with him. It's only him. Sometimes he joins up for the girls' team for their practices whenever he can. He actually has a friend who one plays tennis and the other one plays soccer. Whenever they're done with their practices, he's just like, hey, can you serve me some spikes so I can practice my hitting? 2 years, this kid is a complete nuisance to everybody at the school. And so finally, he gets enough people to play in the school tournament. It's him, his two friends who he's bothered the most, and somehow he's harangued 3 middle schoolers to get the minimum of 6 people on this club. And because he has been the person the longest in this club, he's actually the team captain. Literally the first match, Hinata is pitted against a powerhouse school with a setter who has already made a name for himself. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, my boy loses. My boy loses so hard, it's kind of a joke. The team that he's playing against this match is just like a warm-up match. The points that Hinata's team does get is mostly because of the mistakes the other team makes. But he does not give up. He keeps doing some amazing plays that don't really go anywhere. He loses. During the whole match, the setter, Kageyama, is looking at him and he's just stunned by Hinata's athleticism. At the end of the match, he looks at him and he asks, what have you been doing for the past 2 years? And we see from Kageyama's point of view that he means because of Hinata's raw athleticism and his determination. But Hinata takes it personally. And he sees it as like this final insult. He vows that he is going to give better at volleyball and he is going to defeat Kageyama. So the whole year he practices. We got this Rocky montage, right? He's running everywhere. He's practicing. He gets hit a couple of times in the face by the volleyball, but my boy is not deterred by it. He finally gets to Kurosano, the school that started it all. He is excited. This is his first step of becoming a legend, baby. First step. Join Kurosano. Check. He's gonna go. He's gonna get good at volleyball. He's gonna defeat Kageyama, and then he's gonna become the next Tiny Giant, y'all. Oh yeah, because Hinata's only like 5'4". He's gonna become like the next Tiny Giant, y'all. Let's get it! But unfortunately, literally his first day of school, he goes into the gymnasium and Kageyama is there. Yeah, so, we find out that Kageyama actually got denied his first 2 picks for high school, because in Japan, apparently you can apply to the high school that you want to go to. He applied to one, and they were like, LOL, no. And then he applied to the second one, and they were like, LOL, no. And he couldn't pass the entrance exam, so he went to Kurosano. And so now, Hinata and Kageyama are on the same team. Also, the reason why Kageyama got kicked out of those other 2 schools is because his nickname in middle school was the King of the Court, and it was not because he was a gracious king. Our boy was a wee bit of a tyrant, fully on that the beatings will continue until morale improves grind, and they did not want to deal with that. Kageyama is a bit of a prodigy. He's called a genius setter, but because of that, he tosses a ball at like these impossible speeds and at these impossible heights that his other teammates cannot sync up with. But Hinata is actually able to hit the sets that Kageyama throws. Granted, Hinata can only do it with his eyes closed and he can't aim worth anything, but baby steps. He hit the ball and he's very good at it and he's freakishly fast. So the show is following the volleyball team as they get new players, grow together as a team, and make their way towards the national tournament. Krasno was actually considered a powerhouse team back in the day, but over the years, their old coach retired and they lost connections with like some nearby schools that they were practicing with, and now they're just slightly above average. And so the show is them trying to get their powerhouse status back. The Karasuno team has the following members. Number 1, Sawamura Daichi, the team captain and our dad. Second is Sugawara Koshi, third year setter and the absolute best. Number 3, Azumane Asahi, third year wing spiker and the ace. Player number 4, Nishinoya Yu, libero. Number 5, Tanaka Rinosuke, second wing spiker. Number 6, Enoshida Chikara, second year player and my son. Number 7, Kinoshita Hisashi, second year player. Number 8, Narita Kozahito, second year player. And then for our first years, our freshmen, we have Hinata, we have Kageyama Tobio, our setter. We have additionally Shikishima Kei and Yamaguchi Tadashi, number 12, pinch server, and also my son. We have our coaches, our coaches, Takada Isu. He's actually a teacher who literally knows nothing about volleyball. One of the first times we see him, he's literally reading Volleyball for Dummies. But he's incredibly supportive and is the actual best and is the literal hero of this TV show. Anyone who has seen the show and disagrees with me, meet me outside, bring your lunchbox because we about to fight and I'm going to take it. Eventually, we also get an actual coach, Yukai Keishin. He is actually a former Karasuno volleyball player, and his grandfather was actually the old coach of the team. We also have our managers, the quiet and nurturing third year, Sumisu Kyoko. During the second season, we have the manager in training, who is just a bundle of anxiety personified, Yachi. I know that I just threw a lot of names at you, like, randomly. And I know that you're probably wondering right now, GJ was naming everybody that important. And the answer to that is no and yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. As you might have noticed, with me stumbling over the names, I actually had to Google, like, people's names. I knew their first name, I didn't know their family name. Or in players like 6 through 8, could not remember their names to save my life. But also, these are my children. I love them. Protect all of the babies. I'm honestly not exaggerating when I say that, like, everybody on the team is important and that everybody on the team has their grand hero moment. I think everybody but one person that I've named has had a moment where I have just crying, and not just in a oh my eyes are welling up. I mean like full on snot bubbles. Bring the Kleenexes. I'm fine. It's great. It's just this is the greatest show ever. It's so good. The team mascot is the Crows. The whole series basically follows Hinata's first year with the team. There is a time skip towards the end where you see where everybody ends up, but for the most part, it is this 1 year. Like I said, I'm going to keep this spoiler light. I actually think I've given the most spoilers that I'm going to give because I really want you all to watch this show. This episode is going to focus mostly on the storytelling elements that the creator Furidate does, because dude is a mad genius. I'm not joking. As some of you might know, or anybody with a hobby might tell you, recruiting more people into your hobby is easier said than done. And then teaching people your hobby is really hard. Explaining / writing about it is probably the pinnacle of difficulty. There is a scene in the show where Nishinoya is teaching Hinata how to do a receive. He slows down and does like each step, but he literally makes sound effects. Instead of explaining it to Hinata, he goes like, "Hua," and then you whoosh, and then you pow. And he looks at Hinata like, "Yeah, you got it?" And three people look at him and go, "Nope." I've been that person. Even one of his own teammates looks at Noya and goes, "No, that's not it." I have been that person, okay? I have been on both sides of that tutorial. It's a muscle memory. And so it's nearly impossible for you to slow down and explain to someone in a concise way, because the moment you slow down, it leaves your brain. It completely erases from your memory. And so what usually happens is you try to figure it out and then you go, "Wait, hold on. Let me figure it out." Or you just suck at explaining it. And eventually the person that you are teaching will feel like they're dumb and they'll get frustrated, and one of you will just throw in the towel and say, "You know what? Never mind. I don't care anymore." That's very alienating. I actually debated whether or not in this whole video, whether or not I was going to explain to you the terms that I've used, like setter or libero or any of that. I'm not explaining it. Mostly because of the fact that I have my own knowledge gaps, but because Furidate does it way better than me. With Haikyuu, he is writing for three different audiences at once, okay? He is writing for the new people who have absolutely no knowledge of volleyball whatsoever. He is working for the midfield people who know like a little bit of volleyball, but are still kind of new on the intricacies like strategy or specific rules and all that. And then finally, he is writing for the volleyball maniacs who are so excited to see their favorite sport portrayed, and who, the moment that you put anything inaccurate in there, they are just going to come down with the flaming sword of, "Well, actually." Somehow he has to thread the needle so that he does not alienate any one of those three categories while entertaining everybody. He has to put in great plays that the experts will see and will give them chills, will give them goosebumps, while also not alienating the new people and trying to explain it. And somehow, this man did it. One of the ways that he does it is that he has different characters in the series be avatars for both the audience and himself. We have characters at different knowledge levels. He's teaching us through them. I mentioned that the teacher who was the coach, Takada, he does not know volleyball. He's asking like the team questions, and he freely admits like, "I don't know what's happening, but this is very exciting." And he goes out and he recruits, one could argue hustles, Yukai Keishin, who absolutely knows volleyball, right? He played in high school. He actually is still playing with his old teammates in like a neighborhood league, and his grandfather is a living legend when it comes to volleyball, right? He eats, breathes, and sleeps volleyball. Between them and the team manager, we actually kind of have all three skill levels of volleyball knowledge. The audience avatar and the writer avatar kind of changes throughout the show. So for the first season, definitely for the first half of the first season, it's Takada, but it's also Hinata, because for despite how much Hinata loves the sport, Hinata doesn't know a lot about volleyball. Two of Yukai's old teammates who are in the neighborhood associations, they slowly get dragged back into the sphere of the volleyball team. And so like they go to the official matches. We hear them talking to each other about the games and about the strategy, but it doesn't feel like they're breaking the fourth wall and just like, "Hey, person who doesn't know volleyball, like, let me explain to you why this is impressive. It just feels like two people who love the sport talking to each other. Throughout the show, we get different people. In the second season, we get Yachi, the new team manager. We get Takada's older sister. We get like somebody from a rival team who doesn't really know about volleyball. All throughout the series, it just changes. We hear commentary from those two guys. We have commentary from Kyoko. We get commentary from a teacher who was literally learning volleyball because she just became like the team coach in her school. One of my favorite examples is in season 4. I won't reveal any names. I actually don't know her name. It's a guy, he's a volleyball player who got eliminated from the preliminaries to go to nationals. Right before his match, he got dumped by his girlfriend because he was spending too much time like on volleyball and she had no idea why. And so she went to the match that he lost. It finally clicked for her why he was spending so much time practicing. And so she falls in love with volleyball and they get back together. And then all through nationals, they're in Tokyo watching the nationals that he got kicked out of. She's asking questions and she's like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. And we get to watch all these team play. And this is so exciting. Isn't this exciting, babe? And he's like, yeah, this is great. But he's also like watching it from an analytical perspective because these are the best teams in all of Japan. There's people playing right now who are actually future Olympians. It's so natural how he writes this because, yeah, like there are moments it almost feels like he's explaining it to the audience, but never once in the series is there a moment where a character asks a person who is more knowledgeable a question and they try to explain it and they're just like, what? I don't get it. And the more knowledgeable person goes, ugh, you won't understand. I've seen all 4 seasons. I have not seen the latest movie. I have not been emotionally ready to see the last movie. If you know, you know. But like he does that all throughout the series. You don't know what a setup dump is? Well, I'm gonna have a character do it and then have someone on the sidelines be like, son of a gun, that's a setter dump. So that you can remember it so that in a couple episodes later when Kageyama does it, you know the cheer and you know how impressive that is. Or you don't know what a libero set is, don't worry, we're gonna set it up the same way and then have Nishinoya practice it and fail at doing it for like a couple of episodes so that when he finally does pull it off, you're cheering along with everybody else. He does it and it works. And it works not just for the new people, it works for the volleyball maniacs. There are reaction videos of actual volleyball players, Olympic volleyball players, watching the show and them losing their minds. Them talking about, like, yeah, that is super relatable. I saw one person, she was watching it and she was like, oh my god, I have chills right now. I have chills. This is so great. This is amazing. It's so evident, first of all, how skilled he is at doing this, at writing, but also how much he loves the sport. You can feel his love of volleyball in every aspect of it. He sets up plays, he sets up different skills. We know the pros and cons of everything so that we can join in this love of the sport with him. And it works. During the last Olympics, I was watching some of the matches and I was understanding what was happening. And yeah, in anime, not everything is the same because anime physics and anime timing and all that. I was still cheering along. I was still understanding what was happening. And I learned it from an anime. You just feel his love for the sport. And I'm not the only person. Apparently, when he's writing Haikyuu, the signups for high school volleyball teams were actually at an all-time low. Around the time that he started writing Haikyuu, it just hit this meteoric spike. It's the numbers have yet to go down because other people read it and fell in love with it and fell in love with the sport. There's actually videos of volleyball players on the Japanese team talking about how they started playing because they read Haikyuu as middle schoolers, or they read Haikyuu before they go out to matches to get hyped because Furidate understands how they feel so much. Matter of fact, if you need to know just how serious, effective, and serious this whole thing is, minor spoiler alert. In the time jump, one of the players that we meet during the series of Haikyuu actually becomes an Olympic volleyball player in the Japan 2020 games. And in 2020, when that team was announcing, their real life players, they actually announced that fictional character as a member of their team. They made him a jersey, like an official jersey for the team, and like they were on Twitter and they were like, we are so excited to have this character on our team, and he comes from this area and this and that and that. We're so excited to see this guy play for our team. Furodate loves volleyball so much and wrote this so well. He manifested this. That's wild to me. I like, it's so good. I'm not sure if I'm actually selling the show well, but I really do recommend it. The Japanese dub is available on CrunchyRoll for free without an account, and then on Netflix they currently have it, but only with the Japanese dub. If you, through whatever means you have, can find it and find the English dub, I love it. It's just as valid and just as good. Fight your dad if you disagree. But yeah, go watch it. Try to watch the first 11 episodes, and if you're not hooked by then it wasn't meant to be. It's not for you. I will forgive you eventually for not loving it. Just try it. Go watch. Go watch. This show is so good, y'all. This has been an episode of We Care a Normal Amount About Things. In the next episode, oh, wait, no, I should do it differently. In our next episode of We Care a Normal Amount About Things, yells about Haikyuu for 3 hours next. We will be next discussing why Takada is the actual best, random moments in the show that made GJ cry, and how Haikyuu, no lie, probably helped her through a massive depression in winter of 2021. Alright, I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.